Okay, so I'm going to go over my experiences that I've had with the phenomenon and also UAP, UFO type things. I've had no experience with alien as far as I know. I certainly don't remember anything, and though you could say that one of these could be an alien type thing, I didn't see it as that at the time. I still don't know, so I don't want to say it's alien. I was about probably 10 years old in the car with my 8-year-old sister, my 6-year-old brother, my 33-year-old mom, and we were driving back from my grandma's house. My grandma lived pretty close by. We came down a hill, we hit a stoplight, and there's a big wide expanse in front of us. There's a high school there with a track, running track and stuff. There's a major highway that goes by right by there. That's why we had to stop. And had gone there, hundreds of times by 10 years old. We were often over there. We stop at the light, and we look out the window. I don't know who said it first. Somebody said, "Look up, what is that? Look up at the sky." And so all the kids looked up right away. I don't know what my mom did initially. But we looked up and we could see angled, I'll draw a picture because that's the only way you're going to get a good idea. My hands don't really. Angled at this angle right here probably. A number of what I saw as like this, like saucer-shaped things, but I was looking at them from the angle where you couldn't tell it was a circle. If it would have turned sideways from this to this, you could have seen, yeah, it's a circle or an oval or something. But all I saw was these lines that looked like a saucer turned on the side. They stayed there, they didn't move. It was bright sunny day. We looked we tried to get other people's attention in cars to look up also. They also looked up, and like some people had heads out of the window. Keep in mind, at 10 years old, this was 1976. So we had a number of UFOs around the area, and my mom even saw one, and I don't know if I remember it or if I'm just remembering her description of it, so I'll just tell you about that one real quick. We lived right beside a coal electricity plant. They burn coal to make electricity. It has a huge tower. It sends, chemicals through the air. It's one reason I moved away from the area. I just couldn't imagine sucking that air in anymore. But there were a number of times people saw UFOs over that power plant. And so my mom was outside. This was when I was younger, so I was probably around 3 or 4. And everybody in our little neighborhood there were looking up at this thing, which stayed there for 10 minutes. It just hovered above the power plant and didn't move, a red light. And they didn't say whether it was an orb or a disc or anything like that. It was just a red light that was stationary for 10 minutes. They didn't hear any helicopter noise or anything like that. It was just an odd experience. My brother remembers the angled saucers rather, in the sky. My sister does not remember it. My mom does not remember it. But at least my brother remembers, so that gave me some confidence that it wasn't just an odd memory that popped up from something else. It was a real thing. Those were the first couple experiences, and I had other weird things. I'm not going to tell you every single thing. It wouldn't make sense, but I'll just go over it quickly. I have seen other odd things flying around. I had a friend here from England. We were looking for snakes that night. We came down from the forest, and we were on the edge of the forest, talking at about 1 o'clock in the morning. we had talked about UFOs on the hill where we were in the forest, and this guy he had never seen one and didn't know what to believe. He said he didn't really believe yet because he never saw it. And so we're talking there at the bottom of the hill, and we're talking about something else, and I see red craft of some sort doing odd pattern, not really a circle, but almost as if like a swarm or something. These red lights over his shoulders. I talked to him, and so I said, remember you say you don't know if you believe in UFOs? He goes, yeah. I go, look above your shoulder and tell me, what do you believe now? And he looked, and he was like, he couldn't speak. You know, he was too shocked. Like, we couldn't figure it out. This is before drones. This is before the drone craze. This is about 15 years ago. And I have no explanation for that at all. We looked for a while and it faded out. It just, over about 2-3 minutes, it just started to fade out. And so I didn't see anything clearly. If I had to guess how high above our heads these things were, I would say probably 500 meters, you know, like 550 yards or something. And yeah, just no idea. Anyway, that's one thing. I've seen little things like being in the forest. There's a road there. It's a country road that goes up into the forest, up the hill. Coming down the hill, I saw a number of things. One thing I saw was a very detailed, highly detailed, high resolution purple orb on the ground, just above the ground. And I only saw it for like 2 seconds because I was riding the motorbike down the hill, and I saw it, and I like froze, and I looked at it as I drove by, you know, but I couldn't. I was going too fast. I was going too fast to stop, and I did turn around and then come back, and I didn't see it anymore. But yeah, that's one odd thing. Just things like this that were odd, but you know, could it be a trick of the mind? I guess so. I don't. Why was it in my head at that time? I wouldn't have the slightest idea, but it could be, right? So these are things that are odd, but certainly not proof of anything. I was in my house. I rented here in Thailand. I was looking out the window. It was around midnight. There were very odd shaped things flying around the sky at about midnight. Probably, again, 500 meters, maybe a kilometer, maybe 0.6 miles away. And I tried to shoot some with my camera, which had pretty good ISO, like high ISO speed, and I got just odd color blurs and stuff, but which showed that there was something there, obviously. The wife saw it as well. I made her look. And again, not proof of anything, too far away to see clearly, but just interesting. One thing I saw, I had meditated. I got to a good level. My attention deficit disorder, my attention hyperactivity disorder had disappeared after meditation, right? It was gone. I had it at a super high level, and stressed me out my entire life. I couldn't think for very long about one subject. My mind was flitting back and forth between different topics all the time. But after meditation, that was all cleared up. It was an unbelievable state of mind. And during that time, I started to write, and I became a writer, you know, over those next couple of years. But I wrote a bunch of things, bunch of books, and then I stopped for a bit. And this was one afternoon. I was at my townhouse, and I looked out the second level, like I have here, these glass doors. And I looked out, and I looked up in the sky, and I saw a little dot, and it turned into a comma. and then it went like this. And at the end of the comma, the line that was drawn, it went like this. Like I saw little lines as if like a comic strip, you know, poof, where you would have lines to show the motion of the poof or the explosion of it or the disappearance of it. And it just went poof, and I heard a little pop, like in my mind, like a little comic pop. And I tried to figure that out for a while, and it was so obvious what it was, if it was even if it was from my mind or wherever it came from. I saw it very clearly. It was, let's say, 200 meters above my face, you know, like, I just stood there looking for another 20 minutes in the sky, like, what else is gonna happen? Nothing else happened. That's what these tend to be, is just very short anomalous experiences that offer no real proof of anything, but super interesting, and some of them seem to be almost a message of some sort. I figured out this one's, if it was a message, it was telling me to write more. It was a comma, you know? And I use dashes a lot, those short little dashes instead of commas, because I thought they were more action. I like how it read better. I didn't like a comma pauses too long. But it was almost as if this was telling me to write some more, like keep writing, don't stop. And as it happened, I did write a lot more. I wrote even more books. And what happened is that supported us for 15 years. You know, at Amazon, I just kept cranking out the books and kept selling really well back then. This is in the early days, right? So ebooks sold really well. I could do print and hardcover books there. But yeah, that supported us for like 15 years. We didn't have to worry about money. So that was something. A long time ago, I was married when I was young. I married in the military, in the Air Force, and met a girl from Canada. Got married. We moved to New York City. She was a model. We went from Hawaii to New York City. Because she wanted to model, and these two agencies accepted her and said, come right now, you know, you can model now. Because apparently she had the look that they were looking for or something. We went to New York City. I remember standing in our brownstone apartment, I guess you could say flat, and we were having like an emotional conversation. It was really nice. You know, we're newly married. We're trying to